Alright, hello everyone. Man, I just woke up. So, this is about my dissertation, Plato's search for justice. Okay, the historical section of the dissertation will investigate the foundations of justice. Wait. One more thing before I continue. If for some reason I pronounce things wrong, I'm just going to let that go because I didn't have time to really research or look at the pronunciation of everything, especially when it maybe comes to names. Alright. That being said, the historical portion of the dissertation will investigate the foundations of justice, the principles of the United States leadership and consciousness. Plato emphasized that virtue is the foundation of justice. If morals are the foundation of justice, then healing and not revenge should be the top priority for understanding justice. Reviewing the history of where justice began to where the topic of justice has led everyone to the present day will stress the importance of restorative justice in organizations. Plato's search for justice. About 2,500 years ago, Plato pondered what was justice. Plato pondered justice because of the injustice that Athenian democracy inflicted upon Socrates. Plato's response to Socrates' death echoed through time to become a topic of debate among the founding fathers that would lead them to establish a republic and not a democracy. Two forms of justice. The Bible emphasizes two forms of justice, and this is in Hebrew, so I might get this wrong, but mishpat and hesed. Mishpat is is the punitive form of justice, meaning an eye for an eye. And hesed is the restorative justice method that means loving kindness. Principle before law. According to Grote, business organizations modeled their justice system after the criminal justice. Business organizations modeled their justice system after the criminal justice system. American law comes from English law, and English law comes from Roman law. The Bible is the foundation for Western civilization's perspective of justice. Principle comes before law. The founding fathers of the United States of America are... The founding principles of the United States of America are in the Declaration of Independence. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are inalienable rights that cannot be taken away unless by due process. The Founding Fathers considered the United States a constitution and commercial republic, which the rules and laws reflect the founding principles of the USA. The Founding Fathers considered the USA to be a commercial republic. Business organizations should aspire to embed the principles of the USA into their organization. Roman law influenced the Founding Fathers in forming a republic. The logic and organization of the Roman Republic with well-established laws attracted the Founding Fathers to admire the Roman Republic. The Founding Fathers had an interest in Rome, civil and natural law too. Roman natural law was divided between two philosophical arguments, Aristotle and the Stoics. Aristotle's idea of natural law applied to reason, while the Stoics' concept of natural law sought ideas within the interactions within animals and nature. Aristotle would influence Locke, who influenced the Founding Fathers to state that every individual has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. As America progressed as a nation, leaders incorporated Stoic ideas such as the abolishment of slavery and providing animals' rights. English law. Early America was influenced by Roman law and began to incorporate European models of justice in the late 1800s. Before the 12th century, England, local communities participated in their forms of justice. Beginning in the 12th century, the King of England wrote writs that restricted the local communities. The writs that the King of England wrote would be known as common law. The writs that the king wrote meant that crimes that were committed were against him and not the victim. The king created himself as the victim to seek revenge and impose punishment. The king robbed the victim of seeking resolution and made it impossible to defend against the tyranny that controls the resources. Psychologically, the king interfering in the conflict resolution process traumatizes the victim and offender. An individual must go through the experience of pain and suffering to grow awareness and consciousness. If an individual interferes in the process of nature, like helping a butterfly free itself from the cocoon, the butterfly will be weak and die. In America, the king is not the individual that interferes in the conflict resolution process. In the criminal justice system, the state takes the king's place. In organizations, leaders take the place of the king. Punitive justice. The results of punitive justice is the installation of fear within a society. Fear creates the flight or fight response. Cellular growth stops. Organizations cannot grow or advance with fear as the form of justice. In modern times, the United States has imposed rights that give the appearance of protection over the state. The United States Bill of Rights were created to restrict the role of the state. According to Clute, the presumption of the accused innocence trumps truth, transparency, and trust. Justice has become about getting a result. Organizational justice does not care about truth, transparency, and trust, but use the organizational justice method to achieve results of people that management believes are poor workers. Organizations fail to teach anything in their justice methods about creating a harmonious society within the organization. Modern organizations use a progressive discipline system created in the 1930s by unions. Unions wanted to eliminate summary terminations and develop penalties that would protect without losing their job, without being fully aware that their job is at risk. According to Grote, a former Frito-Lay manager, the progressive discipline system of unions led to a miserable morale, excessive firings, and finally the sabotage of our product. The main issues at the Frito-Lay plant that managers had, the The main issues at the Frito-Lay plant were that managers had a power paradox. Therefore, vengeance was in the eye of the beholder. According to Grote, the progressive discipline is America's criminal justice system brought into the workplace. The justice system in today's organization consists of retribution. Criminal justice and organizational justice have shown evidence of making outcomes worse and not transforming individuals. The root cause of punitive punishment is duality. Duality is not polarity. Duality is subjective projections and judgment. Day and night are facts that explain polarity, while good and evil are judgments that define the nature of duality. Restorative justice. The ideas of restorative justice began to change in the 1970s with the ideas from Dr. Sylvia Clute and Dick Grote. Dr. Clute is an attorney that witnessed the failures of the punitive justice criminal system, and Grote was a manager for Frito-Lay that went through a crisis because of punitive punishment. Clute developed the idea of restorative justice, which had success, and Grote had success eliminating punitive punishment, reducing turnover, and implementing a restorative justice system within the organization. Unitive justice. Western philosophy stems back to Heraclitus, who would influence Plato and Aristotle. Heraclitus believed that all things are one. Heraclitus' saying is that life is flux. Everything is changing. E.g., life and death and night and day, but all things stem from the same. Western philosophy is rooted in oneness. Clute is associated with restorative justice. Clute founded the Punitive Justice movement. Clute does note that restorative justice can be unitive justice. Clute divided from the restorative justice movement because some members of the movement encouraged guilt and shame. Including guilt and shame in the restorative justice, relate to duality, excluding oneness. Unitive justice is the highest form of restorative justice. Restorative justice includes transformation. Restorative justice includes transformative transformative mediation, religious teachings like the Golden Rule, and conscious capitalism. Adams and Anderson brought forth the universal model of leadership theory. According to Anderson and Adams, there are 5 stages of consciousness: egocentric, reactive, creative, integral, and unitive. The consciousness of the mind of Clute aligned with the unitive mind in that she perceived oneness. The other individuals in the restorative justice movement, conscious mind, operated on the egocentric, reactive, creative, or integral levels. The universal model of leadership. The universal model of leadership theory integrates leadership theories, organizational development, psychology, success literature, human potential, and is aligned with spirituality. The stages of leadership development are rooted in adult development, which also resembles the same stages of the Restorative Philosophorum. The stages of leadership development and the Restorative Philosophorum process The stages of leadership development and the Rosarium philosophical form possess the same meaning in that there is a birth to consciousness that leads to chaos and possible transformation. Conscious transformation is not guaranteed. The stages of leadership development are egocentric, reactive, creative, integral, and unitive. The philosophy is the foundation for every sect of knowledge. In the early 1900s, Carl Jung wrote about individuation, which provided a path to achieve oneness. Philosophy and psychology would make their way in the later 1900s to create the stages of leadership that echo Carl Jung's stages of consciousness: egocentric, reactive, creative mind, integral, and unitive. The first four stages are ego development, with the last stage embracing the ego death. Each stage of consciousness branches out to different strategies with how to lead an organization. Okay, so that is it so far. Like I said, this is like my first rough draft. These are just kind of like ideas that I wrote down. There's still like a lot of organizing, a lot more info that I need to add to kind of like expand on certain ideas. But that was just kind of me creating a foundation to provide direction. There's a little few stumbles that I made there, but like I said, I just woke up, got some coffee, and decided to read this because this helps me out figure out where I need to go in the next process, and also how to develop it further. And if anybody has any ideas or wants to say something, then let me know. That way, because I mean that's really what this whole process is about. I gotta be up to date on everything. So if there's something I miss, or there's something I need to add, or something you feel that I should put in there, that's cool. Especially give me a resource on where to go to and everything like that. But for the moment, that's it. I'm going to be doing another one, hopefully sometime soon, on the conceptual framework. But I will talk to you all later, or I'll see you all later, I guess, or I don't know what it is. Like I said, I'm a little tired. Just waking up. You all have fun. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and peace the fuck out. Ha ha ha. Alright, bye.